If you've gone through a restructuring, you're not, you could, I was gonna say you're not screwed, but if you've gone through a restructuring, there's still time to be able to work on it. Or if you've gone through a restructuring, you still have to operationalize it. So again, even if you've moved the boxes around, you've probably created some efficiencies, and that's really good. And the reasons for wanting to do that restructure are still there. What you want to do is actually make sure that the rest of the way the business is set up to run supports that restructure. Right? We don't want to waste the effort and the money and all that time in creating this really good alignment if the rest of the system isn't set up to make sure it works well. So if you've done a restructure and you want to find out what's next, you really want to be thinking about how you're operating. One thing I recommend is something we've done a diagnostic assessment with organizations, because what we can do is look at look under the hood. What's really happening in how you operate and run the business, right? Are your leaders, questions we'll look at are your leaders actually working towards organizational goals and team goals over their individual goals? And I find that leaders always think about the organizational goals. They really do believe that. It's not that they don't want to drive organizational goals. However, they've been given priorities that are conflicting. Their accountability is set up to reward them and recognize them for their individual goals over the team goals. So they're playing a game that puts them in a position to compete. It doesn't put them in a position to collaborate. And a lot of leaders, after one restructure, I had someone call and say that during the restructure, they were told, restructure's done, now you have to collaborate. And no one knew what that meant. They didn't know. And when I examined what was really going on in the organization, everything that was in play, every rule that they followed, which is typically unwritten, was setting them up to compete. So that even if they wanted to collaborate, they would have some difficulty because the way the system was set up, it positioned them to just naturally compete with each other. And they were doing what they were supposed to be doing. They were driving their goals.